And now, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
And yes, here we are again, another day committed to being your consumer advocate, helping you understand your buying decisions, making you just a bit more street smart here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. 80 different categories of consumer advocate content and advice, and we've got 3 of the best on the show today. So we're gonna kick it off here with Jennie RETREPO coming up here. She's in studio. Insured title agent. Buyers can choose title also. We're gonna talk about that and the real estate transactions, what she's seeing in the market. Yes, there is somewhat of a softening happening in the market. We're going to talk about that. Millicent Athanason, attorney Millicent Athanason on the program, as well as Dr. Genevieve Dobson, Degrees of Success. Genevieve is our student loan expert contributor. Talk about debt forgiveness. I wonder how everybody's feeling about this $10,000 that Mr. Biden is going to be giving out to people that went to school, got a student loan, signed on the dotted line, and nope, may not have to pay that loan back. So I wonder how everybody else feels about that. So we're going to jump into that. Plus, feel-good story of the day. Chicago man who saved stranger from train tracks is surprised with a new car. So find out about this good Samaritan in Chicago. Gets surprised by a local businessman. So pretty cool story coming up. Follow us online. We'd love to connect with you at Brandon Rhymes1 on Instagram, Twitter, Getter, all the major sites out there. You can also submit an email form at brimes@kw.com. Just send an email over to brimes@kw.com, or you can always call the hotline 813-917-1894.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
We love it when the hotline rings, 813-917-1894. Call or text any questions, and make sure you're subscribed to our Spotify and iTunes podcast. You can find our podcasts out there, and ring the bell on YouTube. That's our YouTube channel as well. Over 1,700 videos now with all of our content, almost 10 years on air, and we love to help you win. Now, for our real estate sellers, one of the cool things that we do that's very unique and innovative is we actually feature our real estate listings live on air, 80 outlets worldwide, seen and heard by thousands of people every single day. So if you list with someone else, you're leaving money on the table, right? So list with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. We're going to help you sell faster for more money, utilizing our innovation with radio, TV, and internet marketing. 2803 Harbor Drive, Safe Harbor Drive in Tampa. This is a $1.159 million listing here in Tampa Bay. Beautiful property that we've got listed here in the Tampa Bay market. It's close to Carrollwood. Beautiful, beautiful staircase. This is an executive style home, 5,253 square feet, 5 bathrooms, 3 full, 2 halves. You got a state style home, states at White Trout Lake. And you know what I love about this community also is just it's one of those communities where you have those majestic oaks lining the street. Beautiful pool. You can just envision beautiful backyard barbecues with your family. 2803 Safe Harbor Drive in Tampa. Gorgeous property. Of course, you got granite countertops, new appliances, pool, heated spa, fenced in, corner lot in a gated community. $1 million listing from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. Now, we also have another beautiful property in Wesley Chapel, 27641 Lincoln Place. This is in Wesley Chapel, $739,000. Got a pool home on an estate. This is an estate. This is 3+ acres, almost 3.5 acres. Beautiful property available for immediate occupancy, over 3,000 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 4 bath. And it's again a 3.24 acre lot. Garage, large garage, pool, home, screened-in pool in Wesley Chapel. Beautiful property. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
This is God's country.
This is God's country. I love that song by Blake Shelton. And we got Jennie RETREPO in the house. Welcome back.
Hi, thanks for having me back.
All right, awesome. Well, thanks for coming in and educating our listeners and our audience out there about, some of the real estate market. The real estate market, title insurance. Why do we need it? Sometimes you get those grumpy sellers that, why do I need to pay title insurance?
Oh, yes, of course. I mean, when it comes to closing, sellers are looking at how much they want to take home. Buyers are looking at how much they have to put down. And so, of course, you want to consider all of your options. And title insurance is one of those things that I think seems like the least fun and the least important piece of the puzzle. Obviously, the seller wants the check, the buyer wants the keys.
Yep.
But I don't come on this show just for you to take my word for it. I like to share anecdotal stories, things that have happened to our agents and our clients to explain why I'm saying what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So here in the Tampa Bay area, it's standard practice that the seller chooses the title company and then the seller pays for the owner's policy. But the owner's policy, that's your title insurance policy, is issued in the name of the buyers because seller is selling and relinquishing all interest and all rights to the property to the buyer. Starting after everyone has signed, closed, and funded, now it's the buyer's home. The buyer holds all of the interest in the property, but the buyer also has all of the responsibility.
Okay.
And so what that means is here in Florida, we believe in caveat emptor, which is fancy for buyer beware.
Yep.
It is the buyer's responsibility to do all of the due diligence, including the title search, the lien search, permit search, the home inspection, all of the things to ensure that yes, this is the property that I want. Yes, I know what I'm getting myself into. And the title company is that third party that executes these different reports and does these searches on behalf of the buyer to ensure that when the buyer assumes ownership of the residence, that there is nothing clouding title, meaning there's no liens against the property. There's no other person other than the sellers who have signed that can convey interest or hold interest in the property. So now, if you think about it, seller's choosing this party, but once the seller closes and gets his or her check, they're out. What happens next with the home? They don't care anymore because they just sold it.
Right.
They've moved on to the next property. You're the buyer. You're now assuming the property. Let's say you're moving in with your family. You are the party that doesn't want to have any problems or any surprises come up after closing.
Right.
Because everybody else is out.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, the buyer should really be the party to choose the title company because it's the buyer that's assuming the property and it's the buyer that wants to ensure that every single thing is done and correct.
Well, you see that too, like a lot in, for example, Miami-Dade, a lot of South American money, Latin American money flowing up. So then it comes into the trust factor, right? Oh, who do I trust? I'm not going to give my money to some other entity, some people, just because the buyer chooses that. So that's where, traditionally, again, we were kind of talking before the show, you see that happen in like Miami-Dade, maybe Broward, some of those surrounding counties, because they are coming up from that other country in some cases, got that currency exchange going on.
Yes.
So it makes sense from that point of view is like, hey, I want to put my money where I trust and I know this attorney or I know that title company.
Correct.
And then it gives them a level of control, right? I mean, is that what it really comes down to, the level of control?
Well, it comes down to, obviously you want to control as many pieces as possible and you want to work with a trusted partner. Elsewhere in the country, it is standard practice for a buyer to choose because it's buyer's new property, buyer's investment.
Yeah.
The buyer is sinking, in this market, $750,000, $1 million of his or her money into a new property.
Yeah.
So you want to protect your own investment. You're not going to go down to the bank or work with a financial advisor that you've never met before and say, here's $1 million of my dollars. Enjoy.
Yeah.
And as you're buying, you're researching who's a great agent to work with. Who do I trust? Who has a great reputation? Who can best represent me in this transaction? Who should I get my loan from? Who can give me the best rates, but also is honest and discloses all of the fees? You're doing all this and making all of these choices, but you're leaving a very integral part of the puzzle open for whoever. And here's a story that I want to share. There's two separate agents, both agents that work with Insured Title Agency on a regular basis for their listings. Mm-hmm. In both of these situations, they represented the buyer. One was an agent who we work with here, but his buyer was purchasing a property over in, I think, Boca Raton. Mm-hmm. In both of these situations, the title company that handled that transaction, not ITA, did not do a permit search, which seems like, it's just a permit, who cares? Well, in fact, the contract, the standard Florida real estate contract, does not say that the title company is required to perform a permit search.
Wow.
Because it's not actually a title issue if there's an open permit. However, at Insured Title Agency, it's standard practice for us to search open permits because if there's something that's open, it can be a problem.
It can turn into a
big problem.
Lawsuit.
it could turn into a lot of money as well.
Yeah.
So certain things require an inspection or a structural engineer or something like that. And so in these situations, now these agents are coming to us and saying, well, what went wrong because these other title companies didn't do this permit search?
Yeah.
And now my buyer's on the hook for $500 to close out this, or it could go upward to thousands of dollars to close out something, depending on what it was, how old the work is. And sometimes you can get them administratively closed, like if it's from 1982, perhaps. But we had another lender who was also the seller. He was selling his investment property.
Right.
And we uncovered open permits from 18 years ago. Well, those were not his permits. He didn't own the property 18 years ago. But when he bought, that title company did not search for permits.
Wow.
So now, even though he didn't pull these permits, it was on him. And one of them was for the installation of an air conditioning system 18 years ago.
Wow.
So it's like, is that even, how can you close out this permit and have any inspection work done to confirm that it was installed correctly when it was 18 years ago? And perhaps that's not even the unit that was there. And the municipality didn't want to basically just administratively close it because the new buyer was installing a new system anyway. So it just becomes this big mess.
Yeah.
And it typically becomes a mess on the person who didn't even initiate the work, open the permit, call for these actions to happen. And it's all because nobody said anything. And unfortunately, when you look at the contract, the way that it's written, the section about open permits, is the buyer, not the buyer's agent, not the title company, not the seller. The buyer needs to check this out.
Okay, cool. We're talking with Jennie RETREPO, Insured Title Agency here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Longtime friend of the program. Get your title work done locally with Jennie and her team. Insured Title Agency. They've got West Chase location, downtown location, multiple locations, Pinellas location, all over the place. Insured-title.com. I want to move on to something a little bit more macro here. So one of my friends posted on LinkedIn, he's a local banker. Inflation is getting bigger headline, understandably so, but the household net worth declining for the first time in 7 quarters is a big deal. Let me say that again. The household net worth declining for the first time in 7 quarters is a big deal. Specifically, it fell by $500 billion due to decrease in equity markets. It could have been worse if the real estate market didn't continue to demonstrate strength. It remains to be seen that for how long that will be. Rising interest rates, of course, the Federal Reserve raising the rates, of course, what we've all seen, kind of as I mentioned in the open, a softening in the market. Household debt increased 8.3% to $18.3 trillion in the first quarter. Mortgage debt and non-mortgage credit card debt also grew. Rates grew as well. So during the pandemic, consumers were able to save more due to federal stimulus, the inability to spend, and shutdowns. So anyways, all that unpacked, I want to kind of unpack that. Here we go. Inflation's up. They say it's 8.6%. It's got to be much more. Whenever you go buy your groceries, you buy steaks, you buy everything, you see that it's a lot more than 8-point-something%. I actually had a meal, I complained on Facebook about it, Panera Bread the other day, for a little bowl of soup, their bowl of soup and like what they call a half a sandwich. It was like a quarter looking sandwich. Like remember your mom used to cut you up like 4 quarters and that would be $16.25 for a bowl and a little quarter of a thing. So anyways, here I am complaining, right?
Yes.
But my point is people are hurting. Renters are hurting. Rents are up. Rents are sticky.
Yes.
Mortgage rates are up. Credit card debt is up. Man, this stuff is getting pretty tough out there. What are you seeing on your end? Are you noticing this trend as well? Maybe a little bit of a shift?
Well, we have seen a slowdown in refinances, but here's something that I can say as not a banker or a financial advisor or an attorney, but here's what I can say. If you compare what interest rates are on a refinance and interest rates on the credit card that you're putting stuff on because you don't have access to the same amount of money or your money's not going as far as it used to, your interest rates are up from what they were in the absolute record lows of history last year.
Right.
But they're still significantly lower than the 27, 28, 29% interest rate that you're paying on your credit cards.
Yeah.
So if you have equity in your home and you need to access that cash to pay off some credit cards, to pay off some debt, then are you paying more than you would have if you did it last year? Yes. Are you still paying less than what it would be to just let those credit cards roll for the next year? Yes. So what is your individual situation? And sometimes it's, don't listen to necessarily what you're hearing. Have an individual conversation with a lender partner, with a trusted agent, and run through your specific scenario. And a refinance still may be the right fit for you, because access that equity.
Yep.
And I brought my friend Alex today, and we were talking last week about reverse mortgages. Mm-hmm. Reverse mortgages are another thing that in years past got a bad rap. But if you're an older person, if you're on a fixed income, your fixed income is not necessarily covering your expenses like it used to.
Right.
You own your home, and you're sitting on how much? The values are still up. So if you have a significant amount of equity in your home, access that cash now. Use that to continue to support yourself and your family. And that reverse mortgage can stay on your home until you're no longer able to maintain it as a homesteaded property.
Yeah,
as
62
a
years
residence.
of age, 62 years of age.
Yes.
They have a lot of fees on them too. Most of them, from what I've seen. So you got to be real careful about that. You talk about some big points on reverse mortgages. So, but yeah, it is a viable solution for some people. That's about our time for today, Jennie. How do you want people to contact you and engage?
Okay, if you have a question about anything that I've talked about, you're welcome to call us. Our main line is 813-855-3585, or visit us at insured-title.com. Lots of information on there for sale by owners, sellers, older people, buyers. We are here to help you. We want to be a resource and an education resource for you, just like Brandon's show. So no question is unwelcome. Give us a call or check us out online, and we're here to help you.
Good stuff. Thank you very much, Jennie. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
All right, taking a quick break. Coming back with attorney Millie Athanason here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we're going to talk with her. She covers a lot of different areas. She's always got some great content for us lined up. Plus, our feel-good story of the day. Find out about this Chicago man who saved a stranger from train tracks, and he's surprised with a new car. We'll be right back. Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
Hey, everybody, it's the Captain, Matt Bruce, and you're listening to my buddy, Brandon Rhymes, a Consumer Quarterback. Sell, Brandon, sell.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
Hey, Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, in studio with Martine Gramatica, Gramatica, that is, former Tampa Bay Buccaneers Super Bowl winner. Lifeguard Imaging, lifeguardimaging.com, saving lives through early detection.
Thanks for having me, Brandon. Yes, that's what we're doing at Lifeguard Imaging. You come in asymptomatic, and that's what we do. You're being proactive. You're coming in. We do a scan from the neck to the pelvis. It's a full body scan. It's a 3D image of every organ, and that's where 90% of the deadliest cancers are, in our mid region. So we can see everything. But for your listeners, we have a real good special. We have a $599 value, absolutely complimentary. They can come in for a coronary artery scan, which will give you their calcium score, 100% complimentary for your people.
Very cool. Hey, take them up on that offer, 813-917-1894. Call or text, complimentary scan, 813-917-1894, and check them out online, lifeguardimaging.com.
Dennis Prager here for Brandon and Lindsay Rhymes, owners of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams. Buying, selling, investing in real estate, their nationwide Keller Williams network makes them the best team to work with. Sellers, have your property featured live on air, creating multiple offers. Buyers, leverage a unique system that gets your offer accepted, never overlooked. Call or text 813-750-0550, 813-750-0550, or ConsumerQB.com.
Have you desired more income and more freedom in your life? Now is your time. Keller Williams Realty has just launched our own real estate school, and you can get licensed for free. I'm Brandon Rhymes, host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, owner of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. And for the first 3 people who reach out, I will personally coach you. 813-917-1894. Call or text 813-917-1894. ConsumerQB.com. ConsumerQB.com.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Online at ConsumerQB.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us here. Brandon Rhymes, Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty. We love to help you win in your real estate deals. Certified negotiation expert. We help you negotiate the best deals. We bulletproof your deals so your deals don't fall out. We've got the cash guarantee loan programs as well. So have you heard of a friend say, oh, man, we lost our deal. We were under contract. We lost the deal. Now we got to reboot. We got to go back on market. Well, we help you eliminate that whole process. We have very unique strategies that we employ. We have cash guarantee loans, meaning like if the buyer were to lose his job or her job the day before closing, we've got lenders that will close on the deal. So we can help you save time and money when it comes to that. brimes@kw.com. Call the hotline 917-1894. brimes@kw.com. 813-917-1894. Here's a hot property in Dunedin. This is a gorgeous home. You've got to check this out. 141 Highland Avenue in Dunedin. This is a great opportunity for an owner-occupant or maybe even an investor. You could rent this thing out and make a lot of money. It's completely remodeled. Just a gorgeous home here. 1,000 square feet, 3-bedroom, 1-bath, fully renovated. Downtown Dunedin. New roof, gutters, plumbing, everything is brand new on this home. Beautiful property. You got the backyard filled with majestic oak trees, sidewalks, pavers. 141 Highland Avenue in Dunedin. You got the walkability to the baseball field, the TD Ballpark, Blue Jays Stadium, just 2 blocks away. Great opportunity to own real estate here in beautiful Tampa Bay. All right, we got a property here as well at 6899 Tree Haven Drive in Spring Hill. Up in Pasco County, our friends to the north, which had a 97% absorption rate up there, that absorption rate down in the 80s now. So the market is starting to soften a little bit. You've got to be aggressive with your marketing. 6899 Tree Haven Drive, Spring Hill, 1,100 plus square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, stainless steel appliances, screened-in patio, large backyard, and a convenient location near shopping, restaurants, and golf courses, and a beautiful park right around the corner. You got a fenced-in backyard at 6899 Tree Haven Drive in Spring Hill. You can see all of our real estate listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
Buy dirt, find one you can't live without.
All right. So we've got attorney Millie Athanason joining us on the program, athanasonlaw.com. Hey, Millie.
Hey there. How you doing today?
I am blessed and highly favored. Thank you so much. And yourself?
Wonderful, and thank you for having me.
Yes, ma'am. My pleasure. What did you want to talk about today?
So I thought we started last week talking a little bit about this new alimony and custody kind of reform bill that on March 9th passed both houses of Congress in Florida and went to the governor for signature. Now, he hasn't signed it yet. And so I wanted to talk about the other aspects of that bill, because if it's passed, it's going into effect July 1st. And even if it doesn't pass this year, since this version's already passed the House, I'm thinking that it's going to be just a matter of time before we have some significant reform.
So what happened in this bill?
So what happened, we talked about last week that it's going to make a presumption that each parent would get the child or children 50% of the time, and anybody that wanted less than 50% for a parent would have the burden of proof to show why that would be, not there or should not be the case.
Okay.
And with alimony, what they essentially want to do is do away with permanent alimony altogether. And that would leave essentially, temporary alimony, rehabilitative alimony, bridge the gap alimony, and what we call durational alimony. So technically what happens right now, if it's a marriage with duration, if you ask for durational marriage, or durational alimony rather, the alimony can be only as long as the length of the marriage. Well, what they want to do is...
Millie, we got our short break here. Sorry, that's our short segment. We're coming into our long segment with you. We're going to dive deeper into that. Alimony reform with attorney Millie Athanason coming up here. Law offices of Millicent Athanason on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Follow us online at Brandon Rhymes1 on Instagram and Twitter. Consumer Quarterback Show page, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, all over the place. We'll be right back. More with attorney Millie Athanason here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes, Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty. Got a $10 million listing up in North Carolina. Real excited about that. You know anybody looking in that Cashiers, Asheville, North Carolina area, golf course community, beautiful property, 20-acre estate for sale, 7,000 square foot main home, 3,000 square foot second home up in the Cashiers, Asheville, North Carolina, $10 million listing, co-brokering that with our friend Bill up in North Carolina, Keller Williams, sports and entertainment division, luxury division up there. So real excited about a lot of the growth around the team here. And we got some local listings here in Tampa Bay. Clearwater, we've got a property at 507 South Prospect Avenue in Clearwater. This is a commercial building for sale right off of Gulf to Bay Highway, 507 South Prospect Avenue. Beautiful. It's set up currently as an attorney's office, and you got 12 rooms, 2 bathrooms, 2,624 square feet, commercial office building near downtown, right off of Gulf to Bay. You got a newer roof and HVACs, 10 minutes from the beach. 507 South Prospect Avenue in Clearwater, one of our hot commercial listings from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. All right, here's a South Tampa property in Hyde Park, Palmacia for you, 1605 South Georgia Avenue in Tampa. You got $797,000, just reduced price, brand new price at 1605 South Georgia Avenue. You got 1,500 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, move-in ready, and it's right in that area between Hyde Park and Palmacia. Plant High School District, stainless steel appliances, granite countertops, beautiful property, walking distance to Howard Avenue, all the restaurants, and of course, walk and jog and bike over to Bayshore Boulevard. Enjoy that South Tampa living at 1605 South Georgia Avenue in Tampa. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, so going back to attorney Millie Athanason, we've got the longer segment here so we can dive deeper into this alimony reform. You said it passed both Florida houses of Congress, just kind of giving us some updates on that, Millie.
Right. So we're seeing if the governor is going to sign it, and if he does sign it, it would go into effect July 1st. If he doesn't sign it, then, it may come back. There may be additional reform, and then they'll resend up the bill. But what would happen is that they're doing away with permanent alimony, and there's been debate for years now about doing away with permanent alimony. And permanent alimony basically means that, a court is awarding you alimony because you have a long-term marriage and there's a disparity of income. So, for example, wife was homemaker and husband worked. He was, let's say, the physician or whatever and made quite a bit of money. And then the parties divorced after, 20 years of marriage. And, then the wife would be asking for alimony until the husband legitimately retires. And so what they're doing is doing away with that, and they're doing it, they're changing it so that you cannot you can only get durational alimony. And what that means is that you would be able to get up to a term or a point of term in the marriage. So, for example, if the marriage was between 3 and 10 years, you would get to be able to get 50% or 5 years worth of alimony if it was a 10-year marriage. And you would get 60% of the term if it was between 10 and 20 years of marriage. So if they were married 20 years, you can get up to 12 years of alimony.
Yeah.
And 75% if it's more than 20 years. So let's say they were married for 30 years, then they would be able to get a maximum alimony for up to, let's say, 22 and a half years. So
Millie, I had a scenario where that played out in my family, and it was interesting because it was of course they were married, they got the divorce, and then that other party, the wife, it was didn't remarry on purpose because she got her free ride, got the free money And I just remember it being a very contentious thing in a family. It was an extended family member, kind of a friend of a friend type thing. But yeah, I can definitely see how that would be a viable change, because this person was simply milking the system, not getting remarried on purpose, so they had a free ride the rest of their life off of this other poor person that just had to work their butt off and pay for that which was years ago, 20, 30 years ago.
Right. And so now what they're doing is they're saying under the reform that it would be evidence of a supportive relationship. So even though they didn't remarry to each other, if the man was sitting in the house or paying the bills in the house for the wife, and the wife didn't marry this woman and still wanted to collect from the ex-husband, that would no longer be the case or be allowed, because the court would find evidence of a supportive relationship. So, however, if the agreement was worded that it was based on a remarriage, then that could be an issue, because the court would have to go with what the parties signed. However, under this new legislation, if it's signed into law, it would allow people to relitigate, because the proposed law says that it's to be applied retroactively. Mm-hmm. So I can see all these people that signed agreements in the past saying that it was, as long as death or remarriage or something, they would all have the right to come back to court under the new law and readdress that issue. So that is something that the Florida Bar is actually against the bill for that reason, is they think that it would open Pandora's box by letting all these people go back and relitigate their cases.
Yeah, it's interesting.
That's an issue. It is interesting. And then also, too, they're trying to limit the amount of alimony that can be awarded. And under this new bill, they can only get a maximum of either what the spouse needs or 35% of the difference between the parties' net income. So if wife made $2,000 a month and husband made $3,000 a month, the most that wife could get is 35% or $350, and I'm just using that for example purposes. So it actually limits the amount that can actually be awarded.
Yep.
And so that's pretty significant. And so it would truly affect a lot of judgments out there and a lot of marriages and how we address this. The other thing the bill does is it addresses retirement age and says basically that you have the right to retire at the specified age, and all you have to do to terminate the alimony is file a notice of retirement, 1 year advance notice. And then you can, again, only if you're at the legitimate retirement age. I mean, you can't be 35 years old and say, I'm going to retire now, unless you had some health problem or something that forced you to do that.
Right.
So there's just a lot of significant changes that would really affect how people are going to live. And what they're trying to do by this reform is address societal needs, because at this point, most women are working outside of the home or working from home. And they're not basically all just homemakers anymore. And sometimes dads are participating just as equally in the rearing of the children as mom is.
Right, exactly.
So the court is really trying to address those concerns so that, like, what happened to your friends or family member won't happen again.
Yeah, exactly. We're talking with attorney Millie Athanason here on the Consumer Quarterback Show Law Offices, Millicent Athanason, online at athanasonlaw.com. And Millie, this is something that folks, if they wanted to get a consult, you could sit down with them. You do a consultation. Of course, family law, divorce law is what we're talking about here.
Yes, absolutely. I'm here for consultation, and I mean, I can see that we're gonna be getting a lot of consultations if this gets signed into law, because everybody's going to want to readdress their former alimony award to see if they can lower what they're expending now.
Right.
So I think we all need to keep our eyes on the news and see what happens. I mean, July 1st is just around the corner, so if the judge is going to sign it, it's going to happen within the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So,
how can folks find you, Millie?
At either athanasonlaw.com, or they can reach me at 1-833-ASK-MILLY, MILLY, or my office direct number is 727-376-9100.
All right, I like the 833 Ask Millie. It sounds a little bit more memorable. 833
Yes.
Ask Millie, Milly, Ask Millie. Attorney Millie Athanason. Thank you so much, Millie.
Thank you. Thank you again for having me. We'll see you soon.
My pleasure. All right, coming up, we've got Thomas King in the house, Florida Firearms Academy, Second Amendment expert contributor on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Coming up here on the show. Plus, our feel-good story of the day, Chicago man who saved stranger from train tracks is surprised with new car. We'll be right back.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. Please make sure to send him all of your real estate deals and subscribe to the Consumer Quarterback Show podcast on iTunes and Spotify. Or check out our YouTube channel. Have a blessed day.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, Brandon Rhymes here. We are looking for real estate investors. We've got a new relationship bringing us a tremendous amount of off-market real estate investment opportunities. So text the word investor to our hotline, 813-750-0550. Off-market real estate investment opportunities. Text investor to 813-750-0550. Brandon Rhymes here, Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, looking for real estate investors. Send us a text.
Selling commercial or residential property? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rhymes. Reach me at 813-670-7372 or platinummvpteam.com.
Hey, Brandon Rhymes here for Cleaning Commandos here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Cleaning Commandos are hiring, and they're offering competitive wages, flexible hours, relaxed atmosphere, and a sign-on bonus. Reach out if you'd like a career with the Cleaning Commandos here in Tampa Bay. Info at cleaningcommandosllc.com or call 813-750-0550, 813-750-0550. Cleaning Commandos, Consumer Quarterback Show.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
All right, we're back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty. Every day we tell you something good.
Tell me something good.
All right, so you got a Good Samaritan in Chicago who was surprised with a new car by a local businessman after videos of him saving a stranger's life went viral. Anthony Perry is being held a hero for jumping into action to save someone who fell from a platform on transit tracks in Chicago. The man was unconscious on the electrified rail. He says, quote, "The guy didn't have control of his body, so I felt like if I don't help him, who else will?" Perry told USA Today everybody was just standing around recording. Isn't that what happens nowadays? You know, somebody's in need and everybody's just standing around. Hey, we got the video on him. At least I'm doing my video. But the guy didn't have control of his body. So with the help of another commuter, Perry performed CPR and he waited for paramedics to arrive on the scene. The man who was then shocked by the electrified rail was taken to the hospital and expected to survive. Perry's life mostly went back to normal for about a day and a half, and then he received a call from a Early Walker, Chicago native, a founder of anti-violent group I'm Telling Don't Shoot, he says. Walker and his wife saw a video of the heroic act circulating on social media. Couldn't find out who it was. After digging for a couple days, Walker learned that Perry had used all his savings to purchase a defective car and been relying on public transportation ever since. So he decided to surprise him with a car for his heroic actions. Perry said the car will make his life way easier, and his daily commute home will be just over from an hour down to 30 minutes. So there's your feel-good story of the day, and we're welcoming in Thomas King, Florida Firearms Academy. Welcome in, sir.
Hey, Brandon, great to be here.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming in, and always all the stuff you do in the community. Help out. Last show we talked about you in partnership with others bought a veteran a home,
great,
a tiny home or something like that, man.
Making it count, man. That's what it's all about. That's what life's all about. People don't realize that. You know what? We all have goals, we have dreams, but we don't realize that the meaning of life is actually just to help everyone, help the people that need the help.
Be a force for good, man.
You'll feel so much better when you do.
Yeah.
And that's what we're really proud and happy for. We just did the awards banquet, and I invited and I bought a ticket for Brian Gordon, won Citizen of the Year. He didn't know, so I had to be, come on, man, it's gonna be a great time. Let's go out there. So
come on.
He was so excited, man. He shed a little tear, gave me a hug, and
that's funny.
When they called out where his hometown was, I got it on video. He looks up like he's all excited, like, what the heck? That's me. You know? So that was really good. But
yeah.
We got awesome, Father's Day coming up.
Yeah, that's right.
And we have Army's birthday. So we have Flag Day. So all these amazing things. I love this month. A lot of good things go on, even though it feels like it's 600 degrees out here in Florida.
Yep.
It's always fun. That's why we have an indoor shooting range. It's air conditioned. I love our shooting outdoors. That's a lot of fun. But sometimes it's just so hot, or it's raining, or there's a million mosquitoes out. It's sometimes nice to visit an indoor shooting range to have a little bit of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And you go into that controlled environment. You got all the experts on staff that are trained. A lot of them former military, former police, sheriff deputies, folks that come in, and you really get that first class hands-on service.
Absolutely. We do 40 different types of firearm training classes right now with 20 different instructors, and they are certified. The sales and training have been off the charts.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because of the new laws that they're trying to break through, the new bill. They are talking about summer is going to be worse than the riots than last year, which is it would be crazy. Roe versus Wade and other things that will be coming out. So, you know what? Why can't we just all get along?
Well, these politicians just try to do their best to put a wedge between us. I remember everybody's heard of that Napoleon Hill story, Think and Grow Rich, right?
Right.
He wrote a sequel called something along the lines of the devil's, how the devil gets in, and his number one tool is a wedge, right? Because that devil knows if he can wedge between us family members, parents, that's where you see kids going to college turning into these liberals, wedge between us. So that's what they're doing. They're wedging it between us, white and black. Any type of demographic,
religious, not religious,
exactly,
Republican, liberal.
Yeah.
Speaking of the colleges, that's what's causing so many problems right now. Colleges are a business, and we have to realize that they charge so much. It costs my son almost, me, $500,000 just about to go to college. One kid who can afford that stuff, right? And what did they get? So we have these kids that go out, they take out a loan that they can't repay back to learn something that is not going to help them.
Doesn't matter.
To get a job that's already outdated. We've been doing this for centuries and over. It doesn't work. Back in the day, colleges were a different kind of animal.
Right.
Now I think it's just... There's so many people.
It's a status.
I don't have a college grad. I'm not a college graduate.
Right.
Look at me. I'm a CEO. I know many people that are very successful.
Yeah.
That just went ahead and learned it themselves and learned things that actually worked.
Well, look, if you're not going to be an engineer, a doctor, a lawyer, if you're not going to be one of those types of things, then really, what are you doing? You're going communications, criminology, underwater basket weaving, lesbian poetry, South African. You're studying stuff that doesn't matter, like you said, to go look for jobs that don't exist. And now you got the illegitimate president talking about a $10,000, we're going to wipe all $10,000 worth of debt. So what kind of, here, sign on the dotted line to pay for these things, but then they're going to make us taxpayers pay for it.
Talk about the wedge. So, many people are like, if I got my college paid off, I'd be happy. If I didn't, though, if I was the guy that said, you know what, I can't afford college, I don't want to take out the loan, I'm going to just go ahead and join the Army and learn and get my education that way.
There you go.
They had to go through a different avenue. The people that couldn't do it, they had to go to a community college. These people are the ones that are going to be paying for your college of people that have already... in that high-end situation where they have the money.
Yeah.
We're going to be the ones paying for that, and they're going to be mad. So talk about the wedge between you. Yeah, that hurts. There is a good way to say, that's the small fix right there. Hey, we're going to pay off your student loan. Well, what happens when the next generation comes up? And we're going to pay everybody's
Well, the other
loans
part of
off?
that, too, by the way, if you just joined us, we're talking with Thomas King, Florida Firearms Academy, here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, FFA Tampa, Florida Firearms Academy. The other thing that is such need right now, as as a business owner, as a I'm in real estate, of course. We need plumbers, we need electricians, we need contractors, we need these skills, man. These trades, these people that work with their hand. That muscular class is in demand now more than ever. And you talk about $1 million business, there you go.
That's it.
You learn how to run QuickBooks, you get you an office staff, you get you some good techs and a few trucks going. Man, you're rocking and rolling.
People are making millions of dollars doing that, but no one wants to be the bricklayer, even though they're going to make $40 an hour. oh, I don't want to do that.
It's the status.
outside.
You know, it's like the parents. So at least it starts with the parents. So they say, oh, yeah, where'd your kid go? Well, he went to this trade school. He went to this tech school. Oh, well, yeah. Where'd yours go? Well, mine went to Harvard. Mine went to Virginia Tech. Mine went wherever. You know, I think that's
what bragging status.
It is. It's a bragging status, and really, it's undue now. I think at this point, you know, we got to really kind of rethink that. A lot of people are learning how to make money on the internet. You know?
Absolutely. You don't even need an education to do this.
Yeah.
To set up a business, it takes you a few hours to get rocking. And there are some huge success stories from ladies and kids that are doing this, making a fortune doing this.
That's right.
Selling products they don't even have. They don't even have a warehouse.
Yeah.
It's from other stores. And you can do
Drop
that on
ship.
Lowe's. Drop ship right there. That's
right.
what it's all about right now. Stuff's getting crazy because of gas prices, and these truckers cannot afford to do it under the prices that they're currently charging.
Yeah.
And even in California, you have to have a new semi just to deliver stuff there. So if you don't, they're having old semis at their border, bringing it to them to get to the new truck so they can drive it in. Isn't that crazy?
It's ridiculous, man.
Just
it really is.
Well,
the left relies on chaos. They need chaos to push their liberal, radical agendas. And unfortunately, that's what you're seeing. What are you seeing locally here, Thomas? We got MS-13 gangs coming across the border. We got crime. We got stuff happening. What's going on that front and ammunition?
You know, right at me right now, when we were coming back from the awards banquet, 2 cars are coming right at me on Hillsborough on the wrong side of the road. They were stolen cars, yeah. We all locked on our brakes, and
Holy cow.
they went up on the medium, sparks going everywhere. It's like Grand Theft Auto.
Wow.
Friends called me this weekend. They were broken into. They had their firearms stolen. These are in amazing neighborhoods.
Really?
They're not going after the if they're going to go to jail or get caught, they're going to do it stealing something worth mattering. They're not going to go into these basic little neighborhoods to steal a TV anymore. They're going to go to the nice neighborhoods. Yeah, and that's what's happening right now. So the sales have been off the chart. Training has been off the chart.
Yeah.
We had lines this weekend, again, like during the COVID session. People are scared about ammunition. Right now, with the new laws, the bill that just passed, they're going to... In Florida, we already have the 21-year-old to purchase a AR-15.
Yeah.
They are going to be throwing in the red flag laws for a lot of people. And the last one is, I think, is the polymer 80s. They threw out the AR ban. They're not doing anything to stop these school shootings. 100%. I've talked about it for years how they can do it, but it just doesn't matter. It kind of feels like they want to see more shootings.
They do. I think they're almost in on it, just like the January 6th.
It scares me because they know exactly how to stop this. Just like at the TSA, just like at any courthouse, any government building, they have armed guards right there, right when you walk in. At a courthouse, you're going to walk in, go through a metal detector, and you're going to see 8 cops standing right in front of you. There's never going to be a mass shooting at a courthouse,
right?
Or the TSA.
Exactly.
They know that this $40 billion that could have been spent that we sent over to Ukraine, that could have just set every kid up in school right now.
Well, they're protecting the judges. Yeah, so they'll protect the judges and the attorneys, but not the kids at the school.
It just scares me that that's how far it's come. I don't want to believe this, but they know how to stop it. I wish they would make a law that would stop this.
Yeah. Well, we got about a minute left, my friend. What else are you seeing? These red flag laws, are they going to catch any kind of traction here in Florida?
You can never know. So once you go that route, when you're giving up your rights, you'll never get them back. Here's the situation. I could say, hey, I don't like Brandon. Hey, yeah, call red flag law on Brandon. They're going to come and take your firearms away. You are not guilty until proven innocent anymore.
Right.
You are now guilty until proven innocent.
Right.
So it's scary because what if they can come take your firearms just like that from someone called you that you cannot face and fight?
Yep.
So what if they say, we're going to take your house too. We're going to take your car. You don't know how far this could go.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's a right that's being taken away.
It's sad.
That we'll never get back.
Yeah, it's sad. So, folks, go and visit and follow online. You might win all kinds of cool prizes. Florida Firearms Academy Facebook page, Florida Firearms Academy.
You won from me.
I won twice. What's awesome. The location, physical
location?
So
at 13317 West Hillsborough Avenue in Tampa. We're right by east of the flea market, and you can follow us at FFATampa.com. Go on our Facebook at Florida Firearms Academy or call 813-221-FIRE.
Yes, go visit him. He's got a great staff over there and have some fun and training. It's a sport. It's life. It's self-defense, and you got to have it. You got to protect your house. Put on that full armor of God. Protect your house and protect your friends. So, hey, another great show. Jennie RETREPO, Insured Title Agency, attorney Millicent Athanason, and Thomas King, Florida Firearms Academy. Please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. We'll see you next time.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Call Brandon Rhymes at 813-917-1894. That's 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show.